Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bountiful Bridge. I'm your host, Bridget Carey. And at the time of this episode, we are coming up on Mother's Day. So, in honor of Mother's Day, this episode is going to flash back to my very first blog post, which occurred about 10, almost 11 years ago. That's crazy. But here we are, and I thought we would do something a little different than what I have done previously. So, not only am I going to read you the essay of my first post, which is called This Mama's Circus Mind, I'm also going to read a new essay that I have written called Yellow Lights. And as I was thinking about what I was going to say during this podcast, I was immediately inspired by that first essay because I think it's relatable to a lot of mothers and parents in general. And coincidentally, I had already been working on this other essay, Yellow Lights, and it's just so interesting how the two collide, and they are very fitting to share together. So I'm really hoping that you enjoy this. So as you will hear in the first essay, you will understand that parenthood, specifically motherhood, can be nonstop, physically and mentally. And we tend to get stuck in these rhythms, although sometimes chaotic rhythms. We try to make sure that we are meeting everybody else's needs. All of this is out of love. This is not a complaint at all. This is just something that occurred in my life once I became a parent because I wanted to do the best I could for my kids. And again, as I reflect back on this writing, I was in the midst of all the little kid stuff, elementary school, kindergarten, and those worries and those concerns, however valid, were very different from what I'm experiencing today. And a little side note, a frequent comment that I would get from others when I was out with my girls when they were younger is something to the effect of, you will miss this stage, or hold on to this for as long as you can. And I do. I remember appreciating those comments, but also thinking, oh my gosh, I can't wait till my kids are whatever, sleeping through the night or walking or that they stop crying over the little things that are so big when we are young. Those were big challenges at that age and stage of both childhood and parenthood. And now that my kids are older, so middle school, high school, transitioning into adult children, I understand so clearly. And so I spin through my days and making my to-do list and making sure everyone's where they need to be, when they need to be. I'm trying to slow down a little bit because I do realize that all of this in parenthood, in motherhood, these stages will not last forever. So I'll talk more about this in the future, but my oldest is getting ready to graduate from high school. And I was talking with somebody the other day, and I was coming across as sad. And it struck me when they responded back and said, well, that's so fun and that's so exciting. And you know what? It is. It's so exciting to experience seeing her grow into adulthood. And I guess I've just been holding on to not wanting her to grow up. Then I actually had to realize that, well, she's growing up. And this is the next stage in her life and in mine. So again, I'm just trying to slow down and appreciate where I am. So that's what leads me to my second essay titled Yellow Lights. And so I'm going to read the first one and then we'll talk about it. And then I'll read the second essay and we'll talk about it. And then we're going to sort of talk about the connection between the two. So yeah, this is a little different than what we've done before. So with that, here is This Mama's Circus Mind. I can still see it so clearly. She snuggled closely to my chest, this tiny little being with big, bold, wise eyes, looking at me sweetly as tears streamed down my face. As I held tightly to this little lady that captured my heart from the moment I knew she existed, I wondered in my mind, how can I let her go? How can I possibly leave this little 12-week-old baby and go back to work? Will she forget about me? Will she not remember me when I return in 8, no, 9 hours? Damn traffic. Oh, that vivid day was 10, almost 11 years ago. Yet, every time I leave on a work trip, I remember that moment when I left her for the first time. In that moment, I hated everything that stood in my way of keeping me from her. Tears of pain swelled in my throat and stung my eyes, searing straight to my heart. But I had to leave her. Caught up in the emotion of that difficult day, I swiftly got in my car and cried all the way to the office. The welcoming smiles and congratulatory comments outwardly quieted the physical tears in my head. A myriad of thoughts had begun to fill my mind. She's not going to remember me. Is she hungry? Is she crying? Oh, of course she's crying, because she misses her mama. She has to miss me as much as I miss her. This is going to mess her up. Great. I've been her mama for 12 weeks, and I've already messed her up. Wait, I have to pump. Is this meeting ever going to be over? Is it rude to just get up in the middle of a meeting and announce that you have to go pump your breast milk? Eek. How do people do this? Yes, I can get that report done by the end of the week. Of course I can get caught up and back up to speed. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Wait, no, I'm not. I'm ready to go back to my baby. Don't you people understand? I'm a mom now. I can't be here. The silent circus mind of this working mom began on that day and has never stopped. She remembered me when I came home. In fact, as I picked her up, I was met with a bright, happy smile that I'm sure was meant just for me. Because she got me. She felt that I struggled to be gone and that I missed her. And I want to believe that she missed me too. All those years later, it physically gets easier to leave, but it doesn't get any easier in my heart. Truth be told, I travel more for work now than I ever have. She has 2 younger sisters that also ask me if I have to go and can I work at their school so that I can be with them every day. They tell me to count the number of sleeps that I'll miss while I'm gone. That's hard. No getting around that one. It pulls on the heartstrings like nothing else. Yet, I've learned it's not so bad. I've learned that they won't forget me. In fact, now with amazing technology, they can FaceTime me anytime they want. It's a blessing that I can connect with them anytime. I may not be physically there all the time, but it's a connection, a bridge back to the lovely ladies that color my world. And that silent circus mind, it sounds a little different now, whether I'm on the road or not. I'm starting to think it's a silent to-do list that is born in our heads the moment we become parents, a psychological connection that the brain knows to turn on the moment we begin to care for another human. Did she do her homework? Oh gosh, what do you mean they have to wear school shirts tomorrow? Where is that darn shirt? Did they poop today? Remember to ask them if they pooped today. Gymnastics lessons? Yes, of course. Wait, I missed the deadline? Nuts. I missed the deadline. This is going to mess her up. Great. I've been her mama for 10 years and I've already messed her up. And on it goes. Catch me in 7 or 8 years, and the silent circus mind will be listing a multitude of other worries like college, dating, driving. Oh God, do they really have to learn to drive? But guess what? I love that silent circus mind because it means that I am a mama. It means that I have 3 lovely ladies that fill my heart with such happiness and joy. You know, there was a time that I didn't think that I would have 1 child, let alone 3. I'll save that for another day. But the point is, sometimes the silent circus mind can get so overwhelming and that I think I can't do it, or that I didn't do it right, or that, damn it, I missed the gymnastics deadline. But beyond all of that, I get to cherish the joys of being a mama. I may leave, but I always come home. And when I do, there's nothing like being greeted by 3 beautiful smiles, 3 huge hugs, and 3 amazing ladies that get to walk with me on our bountiful bridge of happiness. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that first reading. I don't know if you picked up on it or not, but there were certain parts in there that kind of caught me giggling a little bit, if you will, just because, for 2 reasons. Number one, it's just interesting to look back, and it seems like yesterday, but it also seems like ages ago when they were that young. But I still vividly remember leaving that first time, leaving my oldest for the first time, and then leaving the twins a few years later to go back to work. And it was hard. And it still speaks truthfully. My mama circus mind is always going. I always have the to-do list. I always have the spinning wheels constantly going. And sometimes it keeps me awake at night. So I don't know if any of you can relate. I think you probably can, just in the conversations I've had with other parents, that I do feel like this is where we are in our life, right? With parenthood. I mean, I was just texting with a friend the other day and she's like, this week is a tornado. And she's right. And in addition to it being Mother's Day, it's May. And I feel like I should do a whole podcast on the fact that what is it with May? May is just like this crazy month where if your kids are in school, like they put every sport, every banquet, every volunteer opportunity, everything in the month of May. Maybe it's just like, you know what, we're wrapping up this last of the year and this is what we're doing. I don't know. Anyway, but the point is that circus mind never ends. But honestly, again, it's out of love, right? And so I want to jump into yellow lights because we're talking about the tornadoes, right? We're talking about the go, 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 go. And sometimes I believe that there are things in life, no matter what you believe in, higher power or otherwise, I do believe that there are things that sometimes stop us in our tracks and help to remind us that slow down a little bit. The circus mind will be there, the to-do list will be there, and it will all get done. But if we don't recognize the present, then we're really truly missing out, right? Okay, so we'll talk a little bit more after this, but this is yellow lights. Lately, I have noticed that I get stopped by yellow lights whenever I drive. Yes, you read that, heard that correctly. I know the laws. Stop at red, go at green, slow down at yellow. I know. But here's the thing. I am consistently getting caught at the tail end of the yellow lights, which for all intents and purposes, you should slow down and stop, or risk running a red light, which, yes, I do. However, considering I typically have a car full of kids, I tend to slow down and thus stop. The bigger question is, why am I consistently getting the latter half of yellow lights forcing me to stop? And believe me, it's not the routine. It's not the same route. It just is. I mean, I drive a lot. Kids, a sick dad with many doctor's visits, errands, you name it. Every day is different. Timing, street routes, traffic, it definitely varies. And honestly, some days it really pisses me off. I mean, it's the kind of annoyance that makes me want to speed and switch lanes erratically and go full on Mario Kart 8 on my small town. Yet, here I am, no tickets to speak of in the last 15 years, knock on wood, because I pause, I slow down, I stop, I don't rush, I take a deep breath, I obey the laws of the lights, the freaking yellow stupid light. The point is, I pay attention, which allows me to slow down and eventually stop. Lord is my witness, why can't I do this in my day-to-day life? Or perhaps the yellow traffic lights are giving me a, you guessed it, sign. I mean, this has happened so much and so consistently that I couldn't ignore that little damn yellow light. I eventually came to the conclusion that I do indeed need to slow down. So, what have these stops given me? Well, if I take the time to reflect, this is what I have come up with. 5 extra minutes in the car with my dad, who shared a story about his days in the Air Force that I had not heard before. A chance to hear how rough state testing has been on my twins and how overwhelmed they felt. An opportunity to answer a call about a meeting I've been trying to reschedule. A gap between the crazy driver in front of me. A moment to enjoy a favorite song that magically transports me to a place that makes me really happy. Time to regroup and focus on my day. See, I'm sharing this with you as a reminder that sometimes the most annoying circumstances are actually opportunities for us to refocus or recognize what is around us. Just last night, I rushed my youngest daughter off the field of her track meet because I just had to do other things. I was frustrated, not to mention freezing cold from the icy spring wind. Thanks, Ohio. She was hesitant to leave early, which caused friction between us, but off to the car we went. Down the steep hill through the curvy road, only to meet a yellow light. I stopped, and as we raised our eyes to meet the traffic signal, the most magnificent sunset appeared before us. It looked like a pastel painting right out of a Renaissance masterpiece. I gasped. She grabbed her phone to take a picture. We both paused, smiled, and absorbed the beauty before us, all because of a yellow light. So, the next time you find yourself in this situation, pause, reflect, and try to see what is in front of you. Yellow traffic lights help maintain the order and flow of traffic, but if we are really being honest, they allow us moments that would otherwise be lost in the bustle of our lives' constant motion. So this episode's mantra is, take a moment to pause and see what is before you. You might just find that the pause is actually a gift. Proceed with caution across this bridge, but that's okay. Use it as a brief moment to absorb what is going on around you. Okay, so both of these essays, The Yellow Light and The Mama's Circus Mind, offer a peek behind the curtain of someone navigating that swirl of caregiving, responsibility, and life. And on the surface, they feel different because one's kind of calm and forcing you to pause, and the other one is a little more chaotic and wild. But they actually both speak the same truth, just from opposite ends of the spectrum. The Mama's Circus Mind were taken on a full speed tour through the internal carnival of life, of missed lunches, mental tabs, permission slips, bills, snack bags, and the desperate hope that the last clean pair of socks isn't shoved under the couch somewhere. It's funny and it's familiar and it's exhausting and it's honest. And because it's a heavy mental load that we carry, and sometimes we carry it invisibly. Then we move to the Yellow Light essay, which slows the momentum down and invites us to pause, to literally and metaphorically stop at the light and ask, why am I always running? Why am I always the one holding it all together? All the time. Together, these two essays form a kind of emotional inhale and exhale. The circus mind is the inhale. It's the tension, the frantic juggling, and the overwhelm. And the yellow light is the exhale, the release. It's a reset. It's that small reminder that stillness is not only allowed, but it's needed. And what's beautiful is that both of these are true and so valid. We live in the push and pull of these moments every day, and sometimes it's like we're like the ringmaster of a circus and barely holding the tent up from collapsing. And other times we're given or forced into an opportunity to breathe, to take stock and be present in the moments we'd otherwise rush through. So what's the takeaway here? I mean, maybe it's life won't always slow down for us. Our minds will never be fully still. But when a yellow light shows up, when a forced pause appears, we can choose to meet it. We can resent it, or we can receive it. Even a 30-second stop can give us a story from our dad we've never heard, a glimpse into our child's worries, a moment to marvel at a sunset that would otherwise have been missed, and it was with one of my favorite people. And in contrast, naming the circus in our minds, actually acknowledging it, can be just as healing, because when we voice the chaos, we no longer have to carry it alone. So here's the gentle nudge that both essays gave us. Slow down, not because you're failing if you don't do it all, but because you deserve to. And laugh at the circus in your head, because sometimes humor is the best kind of grace. And when the light turns yellow, don't always rush through. It's a sign. It's a gift. A pause you didn't ask for, but really needed. As always, proceed with care and maybe with a little more compassion for yourself, whether you are spinning plates or stopping at the stoplight. I know we've covered a lot in this episode, and I do think it was truly worthwhile. Moms, happy Mother's Day. Everyone listening, I see you, I hear you, and slow down for those yellow lights. You never know what you might be missing. Take care of each other. Until next time, I'm Bridget Carey, and thanks for joining me.